2011 Rich Noll Award for Excellent Government Service is presented this year to Mark McHenry, Director of the Kansas City Parks and Recreation Department. To introduce Mark is Dave Mecklenburg, a member of the Kansas City Board of Parks and Recreation Commissioners and also a member of the Board of Northland Neighborhoods. Dave?
Good morning. This is an honor for me. Being a new member of the Parks Board, I'm beginning to get a feel for what Mark has accomplished over the past several years since he was appointed director in 2003. Mark personifies the essence of the Rich Noll Award, which, when Rich died in 2010, left a void in the city government of Kansas City because of his service, his dedication, and his undying loyalty to the city and the citizens of the city. I see a lot of the same qualities in Mark. Mark has presided over the Parks Board, or the Parks Department, as director during very difficult 8 years when budgets have been cut virtually every year. And if you look around at the parks in Kansas City, there's very little perceptible difference in the maintenance, upkeep, and beauty of the parks and boulevard system. That speaks millions of words about Mark's ability as director, the loyalty and the dedication of his staff, and the ability to get the maximum out of every dollar. We're still in difficult times. Finances are still a problem, but if you look around in Kansas City, you'll see new trails, you'll see enhancements to the parks, you'll see improvements. It is not standing still, it's moving forward under the direction of Mark. Mark spends numerous hours at this, and without the dedication and support of his family, Debbie, I know he couldn't pull this off alone. So it is my pleasure and my privilege to introduce Mark McHenry, recipient of the Rich Noll Excellence in Government Services Award. Mark.
Thank you very much, Dave, for that introduction. I first met Rich Noll in the fall of 1984. He had just started with the City of Kansas City, worked in the budget office. And my last conversation with Rich Noll was on the morning of the 20th day of August of last year. It was a meeting of the neighborhood associations in the Lycans area. It was called Coffee with the City Manager. And Troy and I were there, of course, along with Rich, and he was typical Rich, smiling through the whole thing, cutting jokes, and having a great time. And we were all eating donuts that morning, too, Troy. Remember, right? Big donuts from Hy-Vee. Anyway, that was the last day we all were with Rich, and of course, that following Sunday, he went into a coma, and we lost him a few days later. I know Patty's here this morning, and Patty, God bless. I'd like to thank NNI first for having the foresight to name an award in his memory, and secondly, thank you very much NNI for honoring me this morning by presenting me this award. And also, NNI is a great organization. I'm also a Northland resident, and I think the Northland would not be what it is today without the leadership and all the great programs and services that NNI provides. The neighborhoods are the backbone of the Northland, and NNI is a great organization, and I know you all support that by being here this morning and continuing that throughout the year. Also thank KC Parks and Recreation staff. I wouldn't be here without them. As Dave mentioned earlier, there's a few of our staff here this morning, and if they could just take a quick second to stand up, I'd appreciate it. Also, I wouldn't be here without the Kansas Missouri Park Board. You met Dave earlier, and I know we have some other members of the board here today, along with some former board members. That's you, Tim. May Conger I saw, and so we appreciate your support. Also, we are supported a lot by our partner organizations. We do a lot in KC Parks, and But it's not without our partners, such as the Memorial Association, the Friends of the Zoo. Vote on November 8th, by the way, for the zoo. And other partners throughout the city as far as providing services they weren't able to do with some of our city services. The partners are important to us. Also, I'd like to thank Troy Schulte for his support of Parks and Recreation, the city manager, and also several members of the city council who are here today. And we always are glad to hear their support, and I know that they're willing to come forward when they can to help us out. I know they have their challenges throughout the city, but we do appreciate the support of the council and, of course, Mayor James and our department. And my wife, Debbie, is with me this morning also, and she keeps me in line. And she is a high school teacher in the North Kansas City School District, and she works a heck of a lot harder than I do.